If you're new here, which to be honest you probably are, I am Jessica Elena. I am a Swedish artist and I just love to make stuff. I also really love color and like experimenting with color and composition and art. That's basically what art is, so it's great. I have been meaning to get back to this YouTube channel for quite a while now, but I have a lot of fun plans moving forward, so I'm really excited and you should stick around. Part of the reason why I haven't been able to come back to this is that I've had an inflammation in my wrist for about 10 months, which has meant that I haven't been able to draw or like edit videos or do like any creative stuff, which has been painful. I have barely made it through these 10 months, but I did it and it seems like it's better now. It's not 100% yet, I still have some pain, but it's a lot better. And I'm just so happy to finally be making art again. Anyway, today is a draw with me where I'm gonna be drawing on my iPad in Procreate, and I'm going to be talking you through the process with a little voiceover, and we're just gonna have a look at what I drew. Anyone who follows me on Instagram will be very surprised that I drew a goose. I've been drawing a lot of geese lately, but they're just so fun and expressive. Also, the drawing turned out pretty well considering that I could barely see any of the screen because there was so many reflection on it from the window. So many reflections on it because of the window behind it, and that was great, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So without me talking any further about nothing, let's just get on with the draw with me. Okay, time for voiceover. So here I am starting my drawing by just making some random leaves. I didn't have a sketch for this one. I've started to sketch more recently and I didn't when I filmed this video for some reason. I didn't even know what I was gonna draw when I started this. As you can see, I started to make like a stalk for a flower, and then I realized that those leaves looked cuter next to each other. So I changed it, the magic of digital, and I think somewhere along here I decided I was gonna make a goose. Yep, there it is. Little goosey. Yeah, I really like the shape. I really like the shape of geese bodies. They're just so simple and like effective, if you get what I mean. It's really interesting. And here is some footage from the iPad since you couldn't really see what I was doing on the thing I had filmed from above, since the shades are so similar. I think I'm using the dry ink brush filling these in. I don't actually remember, which is great. And then it's time for the beak. No. Is it called beak on a goose? I don't know. It doesn't matter. The orange mouth thing. Yeah. And I really love being able to like move it around and stuff since it's digital. And not being like bound to my first decision, because they're rarely as good as like when I can tweak things. And then I think I decided he got the flower hat that I've drawn once before because it's very cute. And there I made a cut, and it's sped up so you don't have to watch me draw in real time because that's a bit slow. And then a little stem for the flower, and some lines. I really like just adding these simple lines on flowers. They're so effective to make it look like more three-dimensional. I didn't really like where this was going with the like light lines. That's English. The lighter lines didn't look great, but I think I just went with it anyway. Since I made this video, I've actually made like a palette in Procreate, so I don't have to go like to the color picker every time to pick a shade of green. since I'm just using greens these days. Yeah, more leaves or like stones. I don't know what they are exactly, they're just shapes. This was like when I was a bit more into the abstract work. I've changed a bit since then. It's been like I don't know, a week, 2 weeks since I filmed this. Just filling them in. I prefer like filling things in rather than using the fill tool, because it just gives more texture, and I love texture. I was constantly stressing about my cameras not filming anymore when I was filming this for some reason, so I had to like check constantly, which was great for the footage. And then these flowers that I'm obsessed with drawing, they're just so fun and easy to draw. You just draw a little oval for the middle, and then you just draw petals. And they just look so cute every time, and I want them to be yellow and orange always. You can see my face in the reflection there. I look so concentrated. So some iPad footage. My iPad like overheated from filming this while I was drawing, so I don't know if I'll be able to do it again. And some more flowers. I really like these flowers from the side as well. They're just looks a bit like chamomile, or like, I don't know, remember what they're called, but a kind of flower that I like. I'll put the name in. More leaves, because who doesn't want leaves in their life? Lives in their leaves. I didn't really have a plan when I was working on this. I just went for it, which is one of my favorite ways to work. One of my favorite ways to work. I really like it, although I have been liking planning and sketching recently. And here you can see, as I do like 100 times when I make a piece, I tweak the colors using the curves and the hue saturation tools, because basically the hue saturation tool is really effective in making the colors really work together, because sometimes just the smallest difference can make a huge difference in the piece. So yeah, as you can see. And I'm just like copying the flowers I've already drawn because I wanted more flowers, which is a quick way to get more flowers. And I really like that about digital, that I can just reuse things and don't have to draw the same thing over and over and over again. That's what I liked so much when I was using stamp brushes as well, like when they just repeat the tiny little drawing I made over and over again by just drawing the brush over the surface. Yep, small leaves for the flowers. I really like the colors in this. I like the like pinkish peachy tone with the orange and the green, which is just what I've been using recently in general, so I think you all know that I love this, but yeah. This is just a process where I'm like experimenting over and over again by just adding and removing and moving around things to get the right composition. Because since I haven't sketched it out and planned it, I don't have a plan, so I'll just be moving things around over and over again to get it to look the way I want to. And here I'm just drawing the same petal over and over again because I didn't like the way it turned out. Some petals are harder than others, I don't know why. I always accidentally undo things when I'm trying to I either accidentally undo them or accidentally draw a line when I'm trying to like pan around in the image. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but when I like use 2 fingers to move around, I just either draw something or I undo it, and then I accidentally start drawing something new, so I can't like redo it, and it's annoying. Like, that's gone now. And then tweaking colors again. I wanted that to be lighter, it seems. I think it looked better before. Did I change it back? Made it smaller. We'll see if I change it back. It looks kind of good this way too, but I kind of like the orange shade tone it was before. Was it orange? I don't even remember, but I think I liked it more. Well. It looked nice with the red like middle though. And then I copied this orange flower, but I think I didn't use it in the end because it didn't look good anywhere. And it looked very weird when I rotated it. Like lost its shape. So I decided to draw a new flower. Oh, this is so cute. A little more pinkish flower. So like I want to have a good variation between the colors of the flowers, so there isn't just like yellow flowers to the left and pink flowers to the right. So I try to make the composition with the colors dynamic as well. And then some stems and leaves. And then we look at the iPad footage again. For one leaf, that was unnecessary. Why did I edit it like that? Well. This is interesting. It's been a while since I edited this, so I'm just like, ooh, I haven't seen this in a while. And now I'm using the Max Pack watercolor brushes to add some like watercolor bloomy texture to everything, to get those like nice shadows and shades and contrast in them. I don't know why I work so zoomed out when I do this. I guess it's quicker to fill it in or something, but you can barely see what I'm doing, so I don't know. Strange. I noticed this when I was filming this, or when I watched the footage back. Like, I work with the canvas so small so often. Like, why don't I just have it on the full screen? I have a small screen to start with. Why am I making it even smaller? I don't know. I really like this texture. It's the kind of like bloom pattern that exists with watercolors when they like bleed and stuff, and it just adds so much life to the like blobs of paint or like blobs of color I've already made. So yeah, it looks a bit like I've cut out like papers of watercolor and made a collage, but it isn't a collage because it's digital. So yeah, time for Goose to get some color. Oh, nice. And the beak. And the flower. I think I thought it turned out a bit too red there. Am I trying to make a shadow now under the hat? I think so. I don't think I ended up using it though, because it didn't turn out good. Just testing blending modes to see if anything works, and tweaking it, and I just deleted it in the end. Great. More texture. I think I'm speeding up the editing now because I'm like, you don't want to see me add texture to exactly everything. I think I used some other brushes than the usual watercolor textures I use for these like rocks in the foreground because I wanted them to be a bit different in the texture and just not use the same one every time. As you can see, I went back to the one I love. That's nice. My one true love in brush form. Ooh, leaves. I wanted to make them stick out more against the green background for them, because sometimes when everything is green it just like blends together and you can't see anything. So it's really important to have like value difference and stuff like that for it to actually look like the way you want it to. Here's where I wish I could have added an adjustment layer on top of everything, because it looks a bit too like saturated and dark after I've added all the texture, and that it just doesn't work. Okay, here I'm adding my paper texture, which is from the Max Pack watercolor pack as well. I just make a middle gray layer and I add the texture on top in black, and I set the blending mode to overlay and I light it up with curves, and then I change the opacity. I really like the way this looks. Like, it's a kind of like coarse paper texture. It's actually the paper texture behind this video right now, as you can see on the green, and it's really nice. So yeah, now I just want to add some tiny little flowers. So I'm using one of my stamp brushes for this actually, and it turned out in a like straight line at first. I didn't know if there was any jitter on it, so I had to redo it. And then I add a bit too many flowers as usual, and I don't know if I actually like the flowers in this one. I think I should have drawn them by hand instead, because they look a bit too like digital, if you get what I mean. Like if I had drawn them by hand with a nice Procreate brush or like the technical pencil or something, it would have looked a lot more natural. And then in the end I always try out different backgrounds, because I'm like, but a cream background is a bit boring. And then I end up using a cream background in the end anyway. Here I just, like, instead of using adjustment layer, I just color the entire layer in blue. I set it to screen and lower the opacity to get this like blue tint for the entire piece. I don't know. It's like a technique I've worked out to get that like faded shadows look that I use curves to create in Photoshop. What am I doing now? I'm adding the lines to the flowers. I always like alpha lock the layers so that I can just draw on top of them without going outside the lines. And it's really nice. I really love alpha lock. I wish there was alpha lock when I'm drawing on paper. It would be so practical. I'm always having trouble finding the right layer when I have a lot of flowers, because they look kind of the same in the layer menu. And I just like go around drawing all over the canvas trying to find the flower that I'm actually on. Because who names their layers? Like, who's that? I've never done that, to be honest. And then I wanted to darken the middles because I thought it looked a bit more dramatic. And I did not on all of them because I liked it so much. It looks a bit more like sunflowers when I do that, even though they don't look like sunflowers at all in any other way, but yeah. I think I was using the 6B pencil for this. I've started using the technical pencil instead these days, because it's so round. I heard Cheyenne mention that in one of her videos, that she likes the technical pencil because it's so round. And the thing with round brushes is that they don't get that like interesting shape that you're trying to achieve with a like non-round brush. But you get such like smooth and nice lines, and they're like even from every side, and they don't get those dynamic shapes. And I don't know if I want the dynamic shape on like a regular line with a pencil. Well, so that's why I've started to like the technical pencil a lot. And then I draw my like lines on the leaves because I love them so much. Like adding like 2 on the one side and 1 on the other side is something I do so many times. Like, but it just looks so good. I've tried a few times like adding a lot of lines, and it just looks so messy and like busy. And this way you get the like, I'm saying like a lot, but you get the message across that this is a leaf without it adding too much detail. So yeah, that's something I do a lot. Adding leaf lines. just going one layer at a time, drawing layers to try to find where I'm at. Yeah, because I'm a pro drawer. I'm a pro drawer. Yeah. Anyway, I think it's starting to be done soon, so yeah. I kind of like where this went. I'll talk a bit more about how I liked it at the end of the video, but it went fine. I changed the background to a lighter shade. I don't love how it turned out. I think there's something missing, and I don't think the composition is interesting enough. Or like, it's just a round blob composition-wise, and yeah. Okay, so that was it for the draw with me. I quite enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun, even though I couldn't see the screen really. The drawing turned out okay. I have a few things I would like to change, like the small flowers around here don't look great, and I also might lighten the background a little bit because it looks a bit dark. I usually always, when I'm drawing in Procreate, I always have to bring it into Photoshop on my computer to be like, I'm gonna edit this, because there are no adjustment layers in Procreate and I really miss those. And yeah. Anyway, I really like the flowers and the goose and his little flower hat. That was the draw with me for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming along with me on this journey. I really enjoyed this, so I'm hoping to be making more stuff again soon. Hope you're having a lovely day, and goodbye.